Shalom Baraka. Just in case you thought I was lying or you just didn't want to hear it from me. But the Holy Spirit reveals all things, right? Take a look at the screen. Self-explanatory, isn't it? Let's hear someone else say it.
We've got the numbers. In case you haven't seen my videos of white servitude, servitude, and I got a lot more coming. And it's just overwhelming the amount of so-called black Europeans that were sent over here to work in plantations, tobacco, sugar plantations, to be, as convict prisoners of war, these Jacobites and all that. I'm going to show you today the muster rolls. All right, we're gonna show you what they look like, what they're described as. All right. A very famous family crest book of Great Britain. All right. And so again, this is what you find in this book, different crests. All right. We're going to zoom into a couple of them again. All right. Now, when I be saying, do you remember who you are? All right. We're all in the journey, right? We're all learning. I'm a student too. Doesn't mean I got all the answers just because I got all these videos and I'm reading all these books. I'm continuing to learn, and I'm starting to see a bigger picture here. A real bigger picture. All right. And I hope that everybody understands what I'm saying and showing. There's another crest right here. Yes, these crests are associated to surnames. So again, but I just wanted to go straight to the source, because a lot of people, would say, well, how do we know that's real? And we got this from the archives. They scanned that book. The seals are open. Was this the triune? Number 14. This means something, though. All right. Again, this is what it looks like. And this is the Royal Book of Crests of Great Britain and Ireland, Dominion of Canada, India, and Australasia, derived from the best authority records by James Fairbairn. All right, 1883. 1883. Now, this book is a description of the Western Islands of Scotland, containing a full account of their situation. Let me see. Extent, soils, product, Harper's Bay. All right, and it keeps going. So this is from Martin, I believe his name is. And from 1716. All right, this book is from 1716. You can find it on archive.org. It says the inhabitants of this isle are generally well proportioned, and their complexion is for most part black. And this is a crest, right? This is an example. I threw this in there. This is the coat of arms of Ivy William, 1485. The Ivy family. The same book, a description of the Western Islands of Scotland. And we're talking about the Isle of Arran, or the island of Arran. It says the inhabitants of this isle are well proportioned, generally brown, and some of black complexion. They enjoy a good state of health and have a genius for all callings or employ. All right, brown or black complexion. In the Isle of Gigay, says the inhabitants are all Protestants. All right, Protestants. Remember that. Protestant. I've been tell you guys when I say Protestants, because a lot of the times I'll be like, oh, we had a shipload of Protestants come from Ireland or whatever. And we just, oh, a bunch of white people, right? That's what we're all assuming. And that's what I'm trying to help break that spell. The inhabitants are all Protestants and speak the Irish tongue generally, there being but a few that speak English. They are grave and reserved in their conversation. They are accustomed not to bury on Friday. They are fair or brown in complexion and use the same habit diet that has made use of the adjacent continent Isos. All right. It says about a league further of the south. All right. So this is about the island of Judah. It almost sounds like the island of Judah. Just replace the R with a D. Judah, Judah. Says the natives here are very well proportioned, being generally black of complexion and free from bodily imperfections. They speak the Irish language and wear the plaid bonnet as other islanders. All right, the plaid. All right, they made that up. You know, that's that plaid clothing. It says the cattle bred here are cows, the horses, sheep, and all those sizes. The inhabitants are generally well proportioned and of a black complexion. They speak only the Irish tongue. Black complexion, right? In Judah, the island of Jura. It says origin of the Anglo-Saxon race, a study of the settlement of England and the tribal origin of the Old English people, by the late Thomas William Shore, author of a history of Hampshire, etc., honorary secretary, London and Middlesex Archaeological Society, honorary organizing secretary of the Hampshire Field Club and Archaeological Society, edited by his sons T.W. Shore and L.E. Shore. All right, this is from 1906. So it says here, chapter 7 in the same book, Our Darker Forefathers. Continuing that book, very scholarly book, it says the consideration of the evidence that people of brunette complexions were among the Anglo-Saxon settlers in England leads on to that of people of a still darker hue, the dark black or brown black settlers. Probably there must have been some of these among the Anglo-Saxons, for we meet with the personal names Blackman, Blakeman, Blackaman, Blackasunu, Blacka, and Blachiman or Blachman in various documents of the period. All right, Blacka was an ealdorman of Lindsey who was converted by Paulinius. Blackman was the son of Eldric, a descendant of Ida, ancestor of Elhred, king of Bernicia, and so on. The same kind of evidence is met with among the oldest place names. Blackenberg is mentioned in Anglo-Saxon charter. There's another old word used by the Anglo-Saxons to denote black or brown black, the word swart. All right, we know that, the swarty, right, swart. The personal name Swart or Suart may have been derived from this word. They're saying steward, right, the stewards, swart, which means black. So this word may be derived from that and may have originally denoted people of a dark brown or black complexion. Some names of this kind are mentioned in the Domesday record of Buckinghamshire and Lincolnshire. These may be of Scandinavian origin, for the economy or nickname Swarty is found in the northern sagas. Halfdan the Black was the name of King of Norway, who died in 863. The so-called black men of the Anglo-Saxon period probably included some of the darker Wendish people among them, immigrants or descendants of people of the same race as the ancestors of the Sorbs of Lausatia. All right, so I know I'm reading and I hope people's understanding, but letting us know that there was black Anglo-Saxon. As late as time of the Domesday Survey, we meet with records of people apparently named after their dark complexions. In Buckinghamshire, Blachman, Swartinus, the Swartinus, right? And others are mentioned in Sussex, one named Black in Suffolk, Blackemanus and Swartikungus, and others at Lincoln. The invasion of the coast of the British Isles by the Vikings of a dark or black complexion rests on historical evidence which is too circumstantial to admit of doubt. All right, the scholar from all these historical societies is letting you know. Black Vikings, right? Dark-skinned Vikings. There's too much historical evidence, which is too circumstantial to admit of doubt, all right? He's already letting you know it's too much evidence. But 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 what happened throughout history? What did they teach us? All the circumstantial evidence that he knew about. This is from the 1800s, right? So why didn't they teach us that there were black Vikings? Why did they always show us white Vikings? All right. In the Irish annals, the black Vikings are called Dub Genti, or black Gentiles. These black Gentiles on some occasions fought against other plunderers of the Irish coast known as the Fair Gentiles, who can hardly have been others than the Fair Danes or Northmen. In the year 851, yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to point out that be mindful that anybody who's following you, that the word Gentile only mean somebody who does not believe doesn't believe the same as the person that they're invading, or the invader doesn't believe. That's why they call one another Gentiles or pagans.
Yeah, exactly. That's from the view of what somebody would call a Hebrew, right? What they would call a Gentile, depending on what they're saying. We'd have to analyze who's saying what, right?
Real talk. And
then it says here that they're saying that it might be the Fair Danes they encountered in the year 851. The black Gentiles came to Athcliath, Dublin. Example, Dublin. So that's the name, Dublin. In 852, we are told that 8 ships of the Finn Genti arrived, talking about black Vikings, and fought against the Dub Genti for 3 days, and that the Dub Genti were victorious. The black Vikings appear at this time to have had a settlement in or close to Dublin, and during the 9th century were much in evidence on the Irish coast. In 877, a great battle was fought at Loch Cuan between them and the Fair Gentiles, in which Alban, chief of the black Gentiles, fell. He may well have been a chieftain of the race of the northern Sorbs of the Mecklenburg coast.
Now, keep in mind, they mixed us up with the real Gentile. Remember? There's some wicked black and there's some wicked white. But neither one is what the black and the white man is calling themselves. They're not human at all. They just look like that. And you see how many people come to the fact of a good understanding, but not quite that. Now, Most High has a people, and the serpent seed has a people. Beelzebub. I went into India earlier. Went into Sumerian, Texas, for God knows ages. The Quran and everything. And set the record straight who Abraham folks really was. And who they are today. Well, don't let them confuse you, people. All right. With the ones that look like Hebrews. They ain't really Hebrews. They never was. God cannot curse his own kind, correct? That dang, if he saved the Gentile Adam, Fish King, said, I can't curse you. Well, what do you think he's going to do for his own kind? It's something to think about.
Doomsday Book tells us Huscarls in Buckinghamshire, and a people who bore such names as Swart, or Suan, and Swart among its land holders, and it is difficult to avoid the conclusion that such names refer to people of dark complexions. All right, if they got last names like Stewart, all right, it's hard to avoid that they have dark complexions. All right, and what does it say here? Family names from the Irish, Anglo-Saxon, Anglo-Norman, and Scotch, considered in relation to their etymology, with brief remarks of the history and languages, peoples to whom we are indebted for their origin, by Thomas G. Gentry. This is from 1892. This guy is author of Life Histories of Birds of Assyrian, Pennsylvania, The House of Sparrow, Notes and Eggs on Bird. All right, so he's a bird specialist, but he also does this on the side. Now it says here, Dever, originally Duber, from Dub, which means black. Dub, black. Like Dublin, the city of Dublin is the city of black. Dub, man, a dark complexion man. Duibur, Dub, a dark complexion man. Deegan, All right. And it says here, Deflin, Dub, Black, Lynn, Marsh, or Swamp. Just like Moor also means swamp, a wasteland. That's another definition for Moor. Just like Dub also means a marsh, because you know what? A lot of these dark-skinned people were living along marshes, and it was becoming associated to them as well. So the word meant a lot more than just meaning a wasteland or a marsh. All right. Dub, and we're gonna get to that either today or tomorrow. So Dub, Black, Lynn, and Marsh Song said Dub, Duffy. Duffy is also like Dub, pronounced Dub or Dub or Black. Dub, Black, an individual, a black person, a black Dub. All right. Dougal or Douglas, right? Douglas, right? Douglas from black, dark, glass, green, gray, dark green, dark gray. Dougal. So Douglas means black too. Douglas. Dougal from Dub, black, Gal, stranger, a black stranger. Dougal from the same roots. All right. And it says here, Dub. We already know what? Dub, Black. Black. King of Scotland, Black. What do they mean? Black. Nobody's named Black. His name was Dub Mac Mail Colum, or the Black Mac Mail Colum.
Let's not forget the movie that the brother played in called King of Scotland. That was played by Forrest Whitaker. You remember?
Yeah, the new King of Scotland, something like that.
Yeah, which was played by Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
In the movie, he's an African king, but he's called the King of Scotland because of his relation with family members from Scotland.
Exactly. There you go. Subliminal Hollywood. You already know the Hollywood. Because it's reality. Dub, King of Scotland. Black, King of Scotland. Dub, Mac Mill. What? Dub, Mac Mill, Coulomb. What? Sometimes anglicized as Duff Malcolm. Called then the Vehement, the Niger. The Black was king of Alba. He was son of Malcolm I and succeeded to the throne when Indulf was killed. Well, we already know Malcolm. What kind of name that is. Right? Son of Malcolm. All right? And he was, a known so-called black Scottish king. All right? This is his genealogy. You see, like, he's actually a real person in history, you know? And this picture is not even around anymore. They used to have this in Wikipedia. They took it down, but this was a representation that were, I think, making fun of him or something in this book. At that time they did it. The King of Scotland. But when you Google it, and the little box on the Google page, you still see this. But when you click on it, it's gone. So I took a screenshot of the little. It says Dub King of Scotland, Dub MacMilk, sometimes anglicized as Duff McMullen. The Berryman. Like it says, he is of middle stature, well-shaped, and very black complexion. Very black complexion. A lover of music and poetry, of good judgment, but reason, of great hesitation in his speech, once expression. He is about 42 years old. All right. What is he? Very black complexion. All right. The Duke of Somerset. Again, very black complexion. All right. Remember, this is historical.
Now, let's show you in the next clip these bloodlusting, soul-hating spirits. Ishe, Shalawam.